Alright guys, Chris Barber in the building for $20, back for the second installment. Got some ground beef in here. The reason I got this ground beef in here is because I just poured it out of this bag. And look how much blood and stuff is in that bag. So even before you cook it, or even before you even open it, make sure you rinse your stuff off, man. There's no telling where it's been. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, we're back. In this pan, we're going to cook the hamburger. So we have some garlic in here, some fresh ground black pepper, and we got our fresh ground salt in here. So we're just going to go ahead and get this going. We already have our hamburger separated and cleaned, just like I showed you at the beginning of the video. I hope all you guys are having a great day. You know, you don't need a lot in your pan for your hamburger. Right there. You don't need a lot in your pan for your hamburger. Just, you know, just like a little bit of seasonings, you know, like some salt, pepper, garlic. That's pretty much, that's all that's not even pretty much, that's all that's in there. And then I also have my pan for my, hang on. Sorry, had to grab my beer. I also have my pan already starting to go for my my pasta, barilla, spaghetti. Al dente is what we're after. Just in case you don't know what al dente is, it is where it's not crunchy, but it's not stringy either. There's a little bit of bite to it, and it tastes perfect. So that's what al dente means. It means that it's done, but it's not overly done. So in this pan, I have this pot ready for, yep, this is 3-pot spaghetti. I have this pot, I have a little bit of canola oil in there, that's what those circles are, because the canola oil stops your spaghetti from sticking together. And I also have about a teaspoon of salt in here, because that'll neutralize your starch and stop it from overflowing if you happen to step away. So we got our garlic going, and we're going to let that get brown like how it's doing right here. We're going to let that brown up a little bit before we put the hamburger in there, because if I put the hamburger in there before my sauce is going nicely, if I put the hamburger in there before I get it as brown as I want to, as soon as I put the hamburger in there, it's gonna cool down the pot, and it's gonna stop my garlic from cooking, and then I'm gonna have an end product of just raw garlic. So I want to kind of try to get it all not burnt, but just brown before I put my meat in there. So that's where we are so far, and I definitely got my Bud Light. And I am going to check back in with you guys when I put the meat in. Alright? And my little boy says hello. Alright? Be right back. Alright guys. I do have my garlic brown like I want to. It's pretty much sauteed in there, but it's not black. Black is not what you're after. Unless you're after me. And then you only get half of that. So I have about 5 pounds of fresh hamburger already cleaned and separated. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. And once I get this under control, once I get that mixed in with the garlic and cooked down for a little bit, I'll bring you guys back in, alright? Hang on. Alright guys, so we're back. Look like we made a little bit of leeway on this hamburger. You know. Got it reduced down, cooked up pretty good. Now, what I'm actually going to do now is, you see all this grease? I'm really big on not eating, or not trying not to eat grease. So what we have to do is strain this, but I'm actually going to take hot water and rinse the hamburger too. Some people think it's weird. Some people say you shouldn't do it because it takes all the flavor out. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is render out as much of the fat as I can. And everybody says that the fat is the flavor. So I guess in this one particular instance, I am trying to get rid of the flavor, but it's okay because I got a whole army of stuff to add back to it. So I'm after the meat itself. I'm not after all of the added fat and stuff that they add to it to market it. So we're gonna take this over to the strainer and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is where we are. Got the strainer in the sink. Go ahead and get as much, see all that? That's all the stuff that you're not eating. Try to get as much of that out as possible. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn on the water just a little bit. And rinse it just a little bit. Nothing fancy. I'm also going to rinse out this pan. And then I'm going to get it back together. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we're back. I actually wanted you to see this before I added anything else to it. Any seasonings, any salt, pepper, anything like that. And look at the bottom of that pan. This is a no-stick pan, but look at the bottom of that pan. No oil, no unnecessary grease, just nice, fresh, clean hamburger. You can go ahead and toss it for a little bit if you're worried about the water. I don't know why you're worried about the water because we just poured about a cup of water into the oil. So spaghetti is pretty much water-based. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and add some more of my fresh ground sea salt. Fresh ground black pepper, onion and garlic salt, or powder. Actually, I have garlic powder because garlic salt adds way too much salt back into your meal. I just want the garlic, not the salt. So make sure that you get garlic powder and not garlic salt. And then we're going to go ahead and season this up. I'm going to go ahead and accent it a little bit with some of that Worcestershire that you saw in my steak video. And I'll go ahead and touch back with you guys in a second. Alright guys, so we're back. I just added all my seasonings and stuff and all of my ingredients. I am going to go ahead and add one more thing of garlic. You guys should have known that. I don't add ingredients. I don't add ingredients with the same spoon as that I'm cooking with. And I don't use the same spoon from one pot to the next. This wooden spoon is not the one I used in the first one. There is another one in the sink. You don't have to do that. It's just something I do. And my boy is in there tearing up the living room. And then we're going to go ahead and, as any good cook should do, that is good. It tastes just like steak if you cook it right. When you get all of that fat out of it, you can focus on the flavor of the food and not the flavor of the preservatives and the, well, not necessarily preservatives, but the fat and the extra stuff that they use just to stretch it. We want to get all that crap out of there and just break it down to the, as much as quote unquote natural meat as we can. This isn't organic and it's not Angus, so we're dealing with what we got to deal with, so, you know. Sorry, I had to take a moment of silence for that small bud break. On my cooking shows, I can't really get involved in what my 420 Dogs show has been known for, I should say. I was going to try to say it another way, but I want to have two different channels. I want to have 420 cooking with 420 Dogs, and then I want to have 420 Dogs. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take the 420 part out of it all together, and I'm just going to name this show Cooking with Dogs. That'll get people's attention, Cooking with Dogs. But yeah, so the 420 isn't going to be in it. I'm still going to probably have my show 420 Dogs, just because I love hanging out and chilling with all of you guys, blazing, bones, smash, Pacalolo perps, smash, did I say smash twice? Blazing, Pacalolo perps, smash, bones, you know what I'm trying to say. The whole Wakanda family, Octotom, Leslie, you know, everybody who's in. If I'm leaving somebody out, I apologize, but like I said, I'll go ahead and have my 420 Dog show But I think I'm going to taper off of that because I really like this whole cooking with dogs thing. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, actually, you know what? There's nothing really to finish up. I'm going to go ahead and put the front on low. I got my sauce going. Real nice. The only thing that's left really is to go ahead and put the spaghetti in the water. So I thank you guys for liking, subbing, subscribing, and hanging out with me on part 1 and part 2 of Cooking with Dogs Spaghetti Special. I will make a I will show you the final product. I won't just get you to here and then leave you hanging, but yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of how I cook my spaghetti. And stay tuned for part 3 of just a quick little video of how it turned out. Alright? Cheers, guys. Later.